Well, hello, everybody. Welcome in once again to another Get to Know the Royals right here on our YouTube page. As always, I'm Mike Glennon, and today I am joined by new field hockey assistant coach and Miss Tarryn Morris. And Coach Morris, I know you're anxious to get down here on campus, but we, of course, appreciate you joining us here on the program for the first time.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to get down to North Carolina. So
Absolutely. And right now, finishing up your term there in Syracuse, where you were the field hockey program's director of operations. But, let's talk a little bit before we start talking about kind of, your journey here to Queens. Let's go back to your playing days, because I know you grew up in the Northeast, obviously a hotbed for field hockey, went to LIU Post, and you had a very successful career there. And so, I guess my first question is, what drew you to the sport of field hockey, and why do you think you had so much success, I should say, when you got to the collegiate level?
yeah, so it's actually a funny story. So I got into field hockey on accident.
All
I had
right.
actually been a swimmer my whole life.
Ah.
And so, one school year, I was just like, I don't really think I want to do swimming anymore. My mom was like, "Are you sure?" And so, um, I had tried everything under the sun. I tried soccer, I tried basketball, I
Mm.
tried everything. And so my mom was like, "Why don't you try field hockey this year?" Because my mom played field hockey in high school.
Oh, all right.
And so gave it a shot and fell in love with it. And so I stopped swimming completely and went on with field hockey.
Very cool. Well, it's kind of cool to have that, the family connection. Obviously, your mom played it in high school, and that's one thing that I really was, I don't want to say shocked by, but encouraged would be the better word. This year, being able to kind of see field hockey, and this would be my first experience down here watching field hockey. I know growing up it was big, and it was a big sport in the Northeast, where I'm from as well. Of course, Syracuse being where I'm from, but it's kind of trickled its way down. It's almost like taking the same journey lacrosse did a few years ago in
Yeah.
terms of trickling its way down. Are you excited to be kind of on the front lines of that, of really developing it here, not just at Queens, but in the South?
Yeah, honestly, it's making its way down, and even with now the national team coming down to
Hmm.
this area, it is going to become such a pinnacle for field hockey in the South because that just draws so many more people. I mean, it did
Sure.
the same thing to the area when the national team came to Lancaster. It drew so many field hockey in that area.
Hmm.
So I'm just excited to watch the opportunity for it to bring more and more players, and hopefully more schools in the South add field hockey to their sports.
Sure, absolutely. And again, you're obviously coming to a heck of a program field hockey wise with a unbelievable facility over at Basant Field. And looking at your playing career in college, your final season, you had 22 points, 10 goals, 2 assists. But can you talk a little bit about that formation of that team, and kind of how you use that teamwork and just that experience overall in college to kind of launch you into the next phase of your life, and then obviously on into the coaching ranks?
Yeah, I mean, so I absolutely loved my team that I had. I mean, it was just a great group of girls. And so we deemed it so important that, what you do on off the field is just as important as what you do on the field. And so like having that connection with the girls, and I mean, just the conversations that I've had with the Queens girls now, you can tell that they have that connection, which I really think is going to give them that extra push to be able to go on to conference finals, go on to
Sure.
NCAA. So it just gives that little extra oomph that you need, because that you can depend on the person who's behind you or the person that's in
Yes.
front of you to get done what they need to get done.
Well, and of course, still a program that, it's funny, it's a new program, but it's got a lot of old school mentality to it of just coming in and doing the work. And of course, 3 straight championship games they've made it to. And it's an unbelievable program. Of course, Coach Kiss does a wonderful job. And now you get to kind of assist alongside that. Let me ask you this, and maybe a plug for Coach Kiss here. What was it in your conversations with her that really just said, you know what, I think Queens is the place to be for me?
Yeah, whenever I kind of did my interview and kind of got to speak with her, the difference is that, she put me in contact with Randall and, put me in contact with the athletic trainers and the girls. And so I got to, get the whole opportunity. And so we just had that connection where it was funny because, I see it even now, and we haven't even worked together that long, where, I'll say something or she'll say something and it'll just be like, okay, I was thinking the exact same thing. So it's like being on the same page and like
Sure.
getting that homey feeling whenever I was, talking with everybody and, kind of getting to know everybody on the staff. So
Well, and again, making a big move like that, it's obviously very comforting to know you have that on the other end of it for sure.
yeah, definitely. And just coming to a school where I know that the staff is so tight and,
Mhm.
it's just a close-knit athletic program. And so, that's something that I looked for when I got to college and something that I continue to look for at work. So that was a big indicator for me.
Sure. Well, let's talk a little bit about kind of your background in terms of education wise. You got your bachelor degree in art therapy from LIU Post, but looking at your master's degree, it's a very interesting field, and that being counseling and mental health, which in a time like nowadays is so crucial. And I know even before all this stuff happened, there was such a big emphasis in collegiate athletics to really focus on the mental health. So can you just touch on that a little bit and kind of what that does for you as a coach to be able to kind of lock into both sides?
Yeah, it's been such a hot topic, especially since COVID. A lot of people struggled with that. And, right before COVID, we were having, the whole student athletes and destigmatizing mental health,
Mhm.
advocacy coming out. And so, kind of having that both, the mental health and the athletics, I hope that I can kind of create a safe space for the girls on my team and any other team that kind of wants to use
Yeah.
me as a tool to be able to create that safe space for them and be able to destigmatize it, because at the end of the day, COVID was really hard for a lot of people.
Mhm.
And so I kind of am hoping to be able to help and assist as needed and be able to just kind of be there for the student athletes.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this kind of what made you pursue that? Obviously, it was started with the art therapy stuff, but what made you pursue that line of studying?
Yeah, it's something that kind of just like touched my heart a little bit. I mean, I know personally just friends, family, like that kind of stuff who
Sure.
have struggled with mental health and didn't really have the tools, or, it was just stigmatized so much. So being able to kind of be that liaison for my friends and my family to put them
Mm.
into contact was like a big thing for me.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of just a drawing point whenever I was trying to choose what I wanted to go to school for. And, I always loved art. So that was just like a great combination for me.
Well, it's such all of that is just such an interesting field, and I know my wife is involved with that stuff as well, and right now is such a crucial time. And like you said, even if it's just someone for you for have to talk to, and I know in my conversations with every athlete that I've talked to, coaching staff, whatever it is, it always comes back to, man, this was a really hard year, and how do we bounce back from that? How do we get back out on the field and play to our best of our abilities, but also play that mental battle as well?
Yeah. And it's tough because, everything outside of athletics also affects how you're playing, how you're practicing. And,
Sure.
you got to take that into account that, you have a life outside of athletics and you're going to school and you're facing all of these issues. And so it's the balance of being able to try and be able to battle both,
Yep.
because, in reality, that's how life is. You're taking on a bunch of different things at
Sure.
one time. So
Well, you talked about the destigmatizing, and it's one of those things that, no matter who you are, whether you dealt with it yourself, you know it or not, you've come in contact with someone that has some sort of mental health problems that they've had, whether big or small, and they're all deserving of having a safe space for people to talk to, and of course deal with that in their own way. So looking at your role with Syracuse, you were responsible for managing, maintaining the field hockey budget and for the program. Also looked into travel and alumni relations and stuff. And then now you come up here to Queens, of course, doing the assistant coaching on top of all that kind of stuff. What are you excited for about coming to Queens, and what is it you hope to do as both a coach and on the other side of things?
yeah, I mean, obviously I got to work under, an amazing coach. Ange Bradley is absolutely amazing, and she is
Sure.
a great coach. I mean, she won a national championship. So like that was a great opportunity for me, and like I've learned so much from her. So to be able to bring what I've learned from here and kind of incorporate that into Queens, you know, I mean, our main goal is like to go to a national championship and to win one and be able to have that title. And so that's the goal. And, you know, Coach Kiss has already set the girls up so much for success at this point. And so I hope that I can just be a tool in kind of aiding the girls in, you know, winning that national championship and getting that ring.
Well, like you said, you were able to learn from a pretty darn good mentor, and that's been a very well-documented Syracuse field hockey program. And then now you come down here, and I can promise you the young ladies here, and of course coaches as well, are itching for that national championship. And it's nice to hear that you're coming down hungry with that same mentality. So it should be a lot of fun, I know, upcoming in this fall season. Well, now that you actually get to play in the fall this time around.
Yeah. I know the girls are so excited to be able to get on the field in the fall, you know, get some home games in, get some traveling in, and actually have a good normal season. So
Absolutely. Well, Coach, I appreciate you joining us here. We'll talk more as the season progresses on about kind of the state of the team, what's been going on, and all that kind of good stuff. But best of luck with the move, and of course, best of luck here as you get on campus and start getting everybody together and getting ready towards that season.
thank you so much.
My pleasure. All right, that'll do it for us here on Get to Know the Royals. And we thank Tarryn Morris for joining us here this morning. As always, come back and join us here on our YouTube page every single Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. right back here on the Queen Sports Network. As always, I'm Mike Glennon, and go Royals.